Hello, in this video we're going to look at the wealth of databases and information sources that you can use to help you with your consultancy or marketing project that you may have to do while studying here at the Management School at Lancaster. First of all, we'll look at OneSearch. This is the library's online search portal, catalogue, discovery system. There are different ways that you can search OneSearch. I'm going to go into the advanced search. Now you can find OneSearch from the library homepage here. You can find it in the iLancaster app or directly from the student portal. So let's go and have a look at it. Now I've come in at the advanced search page. You may find yourself on the simple search page, which looks slightly different. Now just to see the difference, the simple search has one search bar. Advanced search gives you more options here, and I'll talk about those in a few minutes. But before we do anything else, make sure that you sign in. If you see your name at the top here, you're good to go. You get full text access to everything. If you don't see your name, click on the little icon that will say login and put in your university network username and password, and that will get you started. So there are different ways we can search OneSearch. We can look at books and more, we can look at articles and more, and we can look at everything. Now for the purpose of this video and this search, I'm just going to look at articles and more. I'm not going to look at the books, but feel free to use that in your own research. So articles and more, if I do a search for companies and host region, I'm then going to add another line and put in the term case study. So this would be around if you have a project from a consultant saying they want to look at investing in, say, a certain town or a certain area from their international business and what that would entail. So if we do a search, we get our results and we can see we've got quite a significant amount of results. You may want to narrow this down, and there's several ways that you can do this. Scrolling back up, we could actually change any field here and tell it to search by subject or in the description. The description is a paragraph similar to an abstract, and if your keyword is strong, it should appear in the abstract. An abstract is a paragraph summarizing the whole article. You could also search with and or not, so that would also then change the way that your search works. Scrolling back down, you can refine your results over here by just showing what's available online. You can also refine by peer-reviewed journals. These are the top level of journals, but they, in this instance, because we're doing a consultancy project, might not be the best option. You may want to look at periodicals or trade journals and things like that. I'll leave that up to you. Have a play around with the different searches you get and see what happens. You also have resource types here for articles, and you've got creation date. So we're probably not interested in what was being written about in the 1800s. So we can change that date. Let's have a look, say, for instance, at the last, 20 years. Click on refine, and our results will then change, and we can see the results that we're getting. If you see one that you want to have a look at, for instance, all you would then need to do is click on the link, follow it through, and the full article would open up. So now I'm going to do a very similar search, but using different types of keywords. So I'm going to be more specific this time. I'm going to look for Aberdeen and oil industry. So again, focusing on a very specific geographic location and a very specific industry that's associated with that location. Click on search. So as you can see, we've got a different set of results here. If we scroll down, we can see there is an article here on the changing relationships between multinational companies and their host regions, a case study of Aberdeen and the international oil industry. If I click on this and then click on the links that it gives me, it will take me through to this article, and I can download the PDF or I can just read it when it loads up. And it will also tell me other articles that people have read. So if we click on the PDF, there it is, and I can start reading it. Now this was written way back in 1999, I believe it was. 2001, my correction. So if I want to see who's used this since, what can I use? Well, I would suggest that you use Google Scholar. So if we go to a new tab and type in Scholar, then click on the link to Google Scholar. So Google Scholar, if you're not already aware, is the academic version of Google. Now, what I would suggest that you do before you do anything else is come over to here and then go into the settings and go to library links, and here where it's saying what you can look for, type in Lancaster and you'll be able to link Google Scholar to Lancaster University, find it at Lancaster. That essentially means that Google Scholar is now also looking at OneSearch when it brings back results. So if I find my article and I copy and paste the title into Google Scholar, it shows me that this has been cited 15 times. That means it's been used by other articles. I can click on here and I can see who's used that. So there's an article there, again, a case study or a comparative study about the oil and gas industry in Stavanger and Aberdeen, and that's been cited 52 times. So I could click on that and see what articles have been there as well. So Google Scholar can be quite good for seeing where the research has gone since that article that you were using. And I guess you will be asked to show the relevance of your research and how up to date it can be. So this could be a good way of doing that. I hope that makes sense. So that was using OneSearch and Google Scholar. Now from here, I'm going to go into some very specialist databases and search within them and show you the different types of things that you can find. So from OneSearch, I'm going to scroll down and come down through the library homepage here and click on this icon for subject guides. Now you'll find this again in the iLancaster app and in the student portal, and there are subject guides for everything that we teach on campus. The one that I'm interested in today is business and management, and if I click on the link, the top one, this takes me into our business and management guide, and on here you'll find a whole host of things that you can use, and I'll go through some of them in this video. So the first thing I want to talk about is our subject specific databases here. We've got three main ones: Business Source Complete, Emerald and ProQuest. These are the top business databases in terms of journal articles, and if you do your searches in these, you'll pretty much cover everything. Just going to show you Business Source Complete. Now when you go into this, it looks fairly complicated, but it is quite simple to use, and there's lots of really good stuff in this. There's actually a thesaurus built in, so you can put your key terms into the thesaurus and it will show you what other words that you can use, so that can be quite useful. Now if one of your projects is asking around customer service and customer service excellence and awards and things like that, this is one of the things that you can do. So if I put in customer service, you'll see it's mirroring what I'm writing, and there's a whole host of things already there that I could change my search to. So I'm just going to leave it basically on customer service, and I'm going to add in case study. Again, we could search all fields, or we can narrow down by abstract, geographic, people and subject terms, which are the things that are in the thesaurus. I click on search and we get our results come back, and we can see here various different case studies around customer service excellence. Now if there's one that we want to look at, all that we then need to do is click on the link that it gives us, the title, HTML or the PDF. If of course it doesn't have a link, you may see something that says find it in OneSearch. You can click on this and it'll go back to OneSearch to see if it's available there. Now if you want to change your search, you can do. So if I take out case study and I look for award instead, we can tell it to search for customer service and award, and again we are getting different results. Now you'll see on the left hand side you can limit to scholarly peer-reviewed journals again, but as we can see from our first most relevant hits, these are coming back from periodicals. These are the trade journals, etc. So maybe not in this instance narrowed down by scholarly peer-reviewed journals. And we can see, if it's anything that we want to look at, again we can click on HTML, PDF, or go through and find it in OneSearch. Hopefully that makes sense and you can use that. Now, if you click on any of the ones in here that have HTML, you may be able to translate it into a different language, and some of our other databases offer this as well. And you may be able to listen to it as an MP3. So you don't actually have to read it, you can just listen to it whilst you're self-isolating and running around the garden or whatever else you're up to. That's Business Source complete. Hopefully that made sense. Now we're going to look at some of the market research reports and company information that we can use. So there's a section here that we can click on. And once we go into this, we've got various different databases that we can go in and look at. I'll start with Global Market Information Database. This is a really good database. It contains lots of reports and analysis and data on various different industries, etc. So if you see up here, you can see the type of industries that are included within this. You can also find things on economies, so you can find reports on sustainability. So that might be useful if, for instance, you're doing a consultancy report from an energy company or somebody that's looking at green issues as well. You also get reports around consumers. So you've got one there on the digital consumer, which could be useful, again, if you've got a product or a company that's developing an app or software or that type of thing. So there's lots of different ways that you can search this and different content that you can get into this. Now, if your consultancy project company has asked you to look at megatrends, this is where this database really stands out. There's a whole megatrends section here, and if you click on Go, you get all of the latest megatrends coming up, and we can see the latest ones there on optimal health, sustainability, future of the middle class, and all these type of things. You can refine your search by geography, by categories and topic, and different analysis or lifestyle themes. So have a look at that if you need to use megatrends in your research. You'll also find as well, within Passport GMID, you can just do a simple keyword search here, or you can go into different industries, and it contains data graphics here as well. So if I show you the data graphics, and if I look at consumer electronics and then choose a category, so if I want to look at, say for instance, mobile phones, and then choose my geography, we'll choose Spain. I get the data graphics around mobile phone sales and performance in Spain. Now all of these graphics can be changed, so if I wanted to see this instead as a table, I can click on there and I can scroll down and see the other things as well. Now I'll also get distribution channels, so I can see what stores they're sold in. I get the competitive landscape, so this is good for any kind of research you're doing from any company. It will tell you who their competitors are. And I've got company shares and all sorts of other information there as well. I can download any of these by clicking download. I can also click on analysis, and this will then give me headlines and prospects and actual commentary on the data that's there. So there's all that type of thing you can do with Passport GMID. Now the next one to show you is MarketLine Advantage. This is a similar beast to Passport GMID, but what I like about this is it has a very good case study section. So if you want to do some case study searching, use that section and have a look at that. You also can browse by sector or by company. Browsing by sector can be useful because it very simply lays it out for you. So if you're looking at aerospace or defence, for instance, or media and digital, you can quickly see how many reports are there and what's new this week. You can click on them and that'll take you into those type of reports. So if I click on aerospace and defence, I can see industry profiles from different countries. I've got an archive, I've got thematic analysis, I've got case studies, I've got the archive, I've got companies. So if I wanted to look at a certain company, so for instance Airbus, I can go into the Airbus section and see straight on this on the left hand side. I can go to different sections. I can look at financials, news, peer reports, even a SWOT analysis. So when I click on the SWOT analysis, it will talk me through the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. All of this can be exported in PDF or in Word, so very useful database. Now, the next one to talk about is Statista. Statista is a statistics portal, and if I'm honest, as a librarian, it's my favourite database, which is a strange thing to say, but librarians can be strange creatures sometimes. So we can do a keyword search in this. So if I search for waste management, it finds me statistics here on waste management. So if I want to look at household waste in England, it will give me a dossier. So this is a 56-page dossier that I can download as PowerPoint or PDF, and you can see the contents there and the type of information that's in there. It will also give me underneath related statistics, so I can scroll through and see those as well. If I go back to my search, I can click on a statistics thing and it will show me the statistics that come up. So I can see there various different things. I can follow the trail of data. I can download it as PDF, XLS for Excel, a graphic or PowerPoint. If I want to cite this, I can click on the little icon here, change it to Harvard, and then I can cite that. So Statista really is a very, very good database full of statistics on pretty much anything that you can think of. It's well worth having a look at. WARC, or World of Advertising Research Centre, is essentially the biggest database around marketing campaigns that you can find, and it's absolutely excellent. There is a case finder here where you can go in and build different cases or put in different criteria. So if you want to find things on B2B advertising and marketing, you can do, or B2C, that's in there. Marketing campaigns that are purely on the radio, marketing campaigns for magazines, or different mediums such as Facebook or Instagram. So that's all included within WARC. Now, again, if one of the projects you're looking at is looking at apps, you can do a search for apps. And this will show you the 8,217 results. We can see these are coming back from case studies, of which there are 4,000 articles, newspapers, etc. Now, if you want to go through that, you can do. If you want to narrow down further, again, you could got all the facets here on the left-hand side, and you can search within your results. So say you were looking at marketing a new financial app, you could put in the keyword financial, click on the little plus, and that will narrow it down so you can see the different articles there that are coming up on things like PayPal, HSBC, global mobile payment market, which could be useful. And once you go into these, you get a summary, and then you can see the article there, and you can scroll down and it'll give you data and a whole host of other things. So that could be helpful for you as well. Now, if you're going to do anything kind of geography based around a certain town or a certain area, and you want to look at financials, FAME could be a good one to use. It stands for Financial Analysis Made Easy. It's purely UK based. There is a similar worldwide product called Osiris, which you could use as well. So if I go into FAME, we can search this in many different ways. You can put a company name in there and that'll search and find that. Or you can go into, in this example, I can go into region, and I can see the regions here of the UK. Now, if I was interested in the northern town of Barrow-in-Furness, this is what I would do. I would go to the northwest, I would click on it, and I would think, why is it not there? This is because there's a slight anomaly in this database when it comes to geography. I need to click on northern instead. and here you will see the likes of Lancaster. Now, dropping into Lancaster, so because it's looking at the LA postcode area, I can now see Barrow-in-Furness. So now if I click on this, click on OK, I can see there are 2,476 companies listed in Barrow-in-Furness. I can click View Results. And there are the companies listed, and I can see their financial details. So what that means then, if I'm looking at an economic profile of a town, I can see the top companies that are actually registered in that town and what their operating revenue is, and I can work out from that their impact on the town, etc. And I can go into any different company that I want. So if I went into Furness Park, for instance, it would give me the breakdown of that company, and I'd be able to look at their income and a whole host of other things over on this side here. But it is purely financial. And if you find anything that you want to use in your research, you can download these as Excel or PDFs. So hopefully that will help you if you're looking geographically at a certain area. Now, moving away from the market research now, there is one database that I want to show you that's on the Business Guide homepage here called Sage Research Methods. You have to scroll down to this. Now, this is not going to give you any data that you can use for your project, but it will tell you about research methods and the processes that you can use to help you along the way. So what you have to do when you first land at this is log in. So if you click on institution, log in via your institution. So let's scroll down to United Kingdom. Type in Lancaster, click continue, click on Shibboleth, and now you'll be able to get access to things such as datasets, case studies, books, videos, etc. Now you can do a search here, for instance. So if I search for focus groups, it tells me what a focus group is, and it gives me the various different things that I can look at. Now what I suggest that you do on the right hand side is narrow down to content available to me, so that will then let you see what you've actually got access to. Now if you want to be very specific and use this for business purposes, if you click on discipline, unselect everything and then click on business and management, you'll now see the 7,200 resources that you can use around focus groups. If you find one you want to have a look at, just click on it and you'll be able to use it. So hopefully you'll find that useful. Sage Research Methods is a very, very good database, and it will certainly help you in formulating the type of research that you want to do, whether that's writing a questionnaire, running focus groups, or looking at literature searching. So next we'll quickly focus on newspapers. So under Finding News and Media Resources, you'll find our links to our newspaper databases. You've got the Financial Times here and the Financial Times off campus. Now if you're off campus, sign up at this link with your Lancaster email address and you'll get a subscription to the FT for up to a year that you can then use. Don't be afraid to use quality newspapers like the Financial Times in your research. The Financial Times has a very good section on companies and markets, and obviously it's more up to date than anything else because it's published daily. So you can certainly use newspapers to back up your research, your marketing plans, your business plans, whatever else you're writing for your consultancy projects. You will also find access to Nexus here and Access World News. Two massive databases that contain newspapers from around the world. They're updated daily. You will find most of the major world newspapers within either one of these, so it's worth having a look. Underneath, you will find archives such as the Bloomberg Business Week archive going back to 1929. You've got The Economist back to 1843 and the Financial Times going back to 1888, amongst other things. That means that you can search every edition of the Financial Times ever and every edition of The Economist. That's a really invaluable resource. We also have streaming media here. We have Bob, we have Canopy, and we have HS Talks. These will give you access to television programs and movies and documentaries. Canopy, for instance, I describe as Netflix for academics. You can do a keyword search, or you can go into the various different sections. If you go to business, there is a business case study section, and you will see things about entrepreneurs, about marketing, business practices, globalization. So if you wanted to watch this thing on Coca-Cola, because that would help you, you just click on watch and you can start watching it. So have a look at Canopy. Henry Stewart Talks is much more academic. It contains almost 1,000 lecturers and talks from CEOs. So when you go into the collection, you can do a keyword search. So I search for marketing plan, and we can see the results that we're getting. 205 here, coming back from various lecturers or CEOs of companies. There are also case studies within here too, so you can see here in the featured talks, if you don't want to look at lectures, click on case studies and they will change and you can see what's on there. So this one here on Skybus is 11 minutes long. There's one here on Singapore Airlines which is 8 minutes long. So they're not going to take up a lot of your time, but they could give you lots of invaluable information. So check out Henry Stewart Talks. Finally, don't be afraid to use what could be perceived as non-academic sources. So if you go into useful websites, you will see links to various different things. Yahoo Finance, for instance, very, very good quality, publicly available. But you then get things like organizations. These can be such invaluable sources of information. So have a look at them if they're going to fit what you need in your project. And you've got working papers there as well and general websites. Also, in the statistics section, you've got Statistica, which we've already seen, but if you scroll down, you've got statistical sources from around the world. And don't be afraid, as I say, to use some of these. UK National Statistics, for instance, is excellent. So you can come into this, you can look at business and trade, statistics, the economy, employment, labour market, whole host of other things, and again you can do a keyword search. So if your consultancy partner has asked you to look at ICT expenditure statistics, you can find them here. And you can see that there are 1,600 results which we can narrow down if we wish to just data sets or time series. And if we find any that we want to have a look at, we can click on them. And we can see what's in there, and these can be downloaded as a PDF. So hopefully you've found this video useful. It's been a pretty much whirlwind tour through some of the various resources that we have. All I would say is if you have questions around any of the resources, please do get in contact with the library and we'll be more than happy to arrange a one-to-one with you, either via Zoom, Skype, Teams, or produce more material to help you along your way. Good luck with your consultancy projects. I hope they go well and stay safe. Thanks for listening. Take care.